Star Wars Celebration in Japan has concluded, and for me the most exciting and mysterious news was the title reveal for Shawn Levy's Star Wars movie. But before we break down my thoughts on that, let's chat about some of the other highlights that caught my eye. Sam Witwer was on Katie Sackhoff's podcast last year. He made some interesting comments, hinted to some more involvement in storylines and projects. I made a video on that and speculated that Sam Witwer is definitely going to be heavily involved in an upcoming Star Wars project. And now we get the announcement of Maul's Shadow Lord, and that's likely what Sam was alluding to. This new animated series has a lot of potential. Set a year after Clone Wars, the show is likely to show how Maul recovers from his defeat at the end of Season 7 of Clone Wars, how he navigates the new Empire-controlled galaxy, and up to the end of Solo, where we see him as the leader of Crimson Dawn. The series will likely include ideas from George Lucas' sequel trilogy, as there will be a lot of similarities between the two. Another interesting aspect will be having an entire series told from essentially Maul's point of view. It'll be an interesting perspective into the former Sith turned gangster, and hopefully they don't make him too much of a good guy in this series. We received some huge updates on Season 2 of Ahsoka. First, the concept art looks amazing, and the scale and stakes look like they've been amped up. We'll be getting the entire Rebels family, as Zeb looks to be a part of the season. Obviously, Anakin is back, and the more Hayden Christensen, the better. Dave teased it as a war movie vibe, which makes me think of Rogue One, my favorite Disney Star Wars movie. And as I've said before, Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie, and space battles are my favorite aspect of the Star Wars franchise. We get the announcement that Admiral Ackbar himself will be making his Ahsoka debut to go up against Thrawn in fleet battles. This is absolute music to my ears, and has amped up my excitement for the next season of Ahsoka. My biggest gripe with the Tales of series and Visions are the microscopic runtimes. I don't feel it's long enough to tell proper Star Wars stories. It looks like Visions is going to correct that. Yes, we have Season 3 with 9 new shorts, but they've announced a spinoff that will focus on longer stories and continue the story of some of the more popular shorts. This is an exciting update for me and should be a home run with fans. Now on to Star Wars Starfighter, directed by Shawn Levy, starring Ryan Gosling. The Canadian duo made a surprise appearance at Celebration and brought very little details with them. Leakers had said this was going to be about a Jedi and a Padawan, but with the title reveal of Starfighter, it's a bit harder to see the link. We do know it's set 5 years after the Rise of Skywalker, so Rey is potentially in the early stages of her school. Was there another active Jedi training a Padawan in the galaxy this whole time and sat out the conflict with the First Order? I'm not so sure about that. Although convincing an A-lister like Ryan Gosling to star, you think he might want to wield a lightsaber, unless he was like, say, maybe a big Han Solo fan growing up. My best guess is we get a combination of both. Gosling is a hotshot pilot, maybe a mercenary or freedom fighter who travels throughout the Outer Rim. He has some Force abilities, but he's never had the proper training. He ends up getting involved in some sort of conflict that escalates to galaxy-threatening or something along those lines. And as I'm saying that, it sounds like shades of Corran Horn or John Nawood. Corran would be sweet, but if the boy in Kenobi is actually Corran Horn, Gosling's age doesn't quite line up. He's probably a decade too young. I also hope this movie doesn't take the spot out of Rogue Squadron, even though Rogue Squadron seems to be on life support at this point. Either way, I'm actually really excited for this movie. It's in pre-production, so it seems to be further along than some of the other announced projects that have disappeared, giving me hope it'll actually get made. Also, I'm a big Ryan Gosling fan. I'm sure Lucasfilm had in mind his role in Blade Runner when they were doing the casting. During Celebration, they both seemed passionate about the project, and with extra emphasis to get it right for the fans. That'll wrap up my thoughts on Celebration. Let me know in the comments what you are most excited about for the future of Star Wars.